going. Welcome to the Ask Us Anything open Q&A with Cleo's products team. So I'm going to share my screen just for a moment here, take care of some housekeeping at the top, and then we're going to jump right in. This is going to be a live event. So just I'm going to encourage everybody to submit any question that you have for the team in products in general, our direction, our current product capabilities, whatever you want to ask us, pop that right in the Q&A box within the Zoom. We will be monitoring this. We'll answer everything that we can live during this session, and anything that we don't have a chance to cover during the hour, we will do our best to follow up with you individually after the session. One other quick thing is, if you'd rather, we will allow folks to post questions anonymously. That will make it harder for us to follow up with you if we don't have time to cover everything. But that said, welcome to the session, and let's get going here. All right, so just to kick things off, I'm going to introduce Cleo's products team, your Cleo products team. So my name is Dylan Lee. I'm going to be moderating this session. I am the Director of Product Marketing. And guys, as you see here, we've got our sort of daisy flower of everybody else that's part of the team, including Vidya Chadaga, who, if anybody was attending some of the morning sessions, got to see quite a bit. So she might be a familiar face to some of you. We're also joined here by Ankit Jain, who is the Director of Product Management. Now, the rest of the team is made up of our wonderful product managers, including Shama, who is a Senior Product Manager. She is traveling right now and will hopefully be able to join the session at some point, but we'll wait and see if that happens. We have Tracy Silverberg, who is a product owner here, Divya, who is also a product owner, and our latest member on the product management side of the Cleo products team, Hariharan, who just joined Cleo a few weeks ago. So with that, folks, I'm going to stop the share, and we are going to get going with this session. All right, so it looks like we're already starting to get some questions coming in. So this is from Jeff, who has a question in terms of an available capability with Cleo. He's asking about whether or not we have OFTP2 available in CIC. I'm assuming that means the cloud side, or if it's just available on premise. So I'll invite, let's say, Ankit, why don't you take a step up and cover Jeff's question for us, if you don't mind.
All right, sure. Hey, Jeff, this is Ankit. So OFTP2 is in our roadmap. In the near-term roadmap, you should see that capability in CIC being available in next 2 to 3 months time frame. So I know we started with an easy one here, so I'm happy about that. But yes, this is something we are actively working on. In the next 2 to 3 months, you should see OFTP2 available in the list of other connectors that you see.
Yeah, absolutely, Ankit. Thanks for that. So just to double click, we are looking to continue to build in many of the capabilities that folks that leverage some of our long-standing managed file transfer products, and bringing in some of those capabilities into our cloud experience as well. So in the near term, as Ankit said, you should find OFTP available in our cloud product, as well as what's available through Cleo Harmony today. All right, we did get another question here coming from Paul. So Paul, I'm going to read your question out here for the team. So regarding EDI and API on the same platform. So this sounds like a part of Vidya's talk track from this morning, but are we talking about replacing EDI with APIs? And what factors should we be consider when it comes to onboarding our partners with Cleo? Is it an EDI-centric use case, or is it API? So if you guys are okay, I'll take a shot at the first part and put some market perspective on it, and then I'll pass it back to the team to maybe add some of the product details. So EDI or API? I think that's one way to think about the question. Another way to think about it is EDI and API, right? So Cleo is fundamentally, we look at ecosystem integration, and it's mostly built around the business-to-business pattern of integration. Now, for a very long time, EDI was sort of the centerpiece of that pattern. Today, more and more businesses are starting to enact the B2B integration pattern using APIs. So really, if you think about it, APIs are an extension of that B2B integration pattern. And where we see that pattern taking shape is often through new cloud-based applications, whether that's an internal ERP that's fit for purpose, or what's commonly called by like Gartner and other analysts a postmodern ERP, or even more importantly, the new B2B touch points that are API based within your ecosystem, the e-commerce marketplaces and e-commerce platforms that have to work in parallel with your traditional EDI based B2B connections. Now, with that, I'm going to invite Divya maybe to speak up and talk about some of the ways in which we're really blending EDI and API together on the same platform.
Yep. Thanks, Dylan. You covered it well on the market front, but on the technical side of it, when it comes, right? So Cleo, like no other in the B2B integration world, giving EDI and API on the same platform. But what does that mean is we are not replacing EDI with API. Instead, we are giving the capability to integrate some of our integrations with the API and some of the integration with EDI. So let's take an example here. Okay, we have a customer who is doing a traditional EDI based integration with a lot of their retailers and other customers, right? But then they want to expand their business, increase their revenue model, and they want to add a Shopify storefront as a new revenue channel into their ecosystem integration. In that case, on the same platform, they can have the EDI going on for their traditional trading partner integration, and then the Shopify is adding the API-based integration on the same platform. With that, it comes up with the end-to-end visibility on the message transaction level, as well as on the message life cycle. Like, what is the source of the message? How does it went in transformation? What was the target? Everything on the same platform again.
Okay, thank you, Divya. So we're continuing to get questions pop up in our chat or in our Q&A panel. So I'm going to take a couple which appear to be linked and focused on our roadmap. So one, and I'll try to make this a two-parter here, is if I have feedback or an idea for Cleo's development, how can I get that idea to your team? So I think the first part of the question is, how do I share a product idea or an enhancement idea with the product team so that you guys and the folks on this call are able to see that idea? And then the second part is, I guess it's a separate question, but it looks related here, is what are your criteria when evaluating ideas from customers? So two different questions, but so interlinked here. So I'll let somebody from the team step up. Ankit, I see you're off mute, so I'm going to call on you for this one.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think we get feedback from you, whether it's directly coming from you or not. Like your CSMs provide that feedback. The services team that you interact with, we get that feedback from them as well. We had a tool that we are in the process of replacing and migrating to a different one. That will allow you to directly submit that feedback to us, to the product team. Right now, there are two or multiple sources by which we are getting that information. But I'm happy to say that in the next month or so, we will be able to release that feedback link that we can share with you. And that will allow us to get the feedback directly to us. Dylan, what was the second part of the question, if you don't mind?
Sure.
Me?
So the first part was what you just covered, which is
right.
How can we best communicate with the product team if you have an idea? And the second part is, what is the validation criteria when we and we get a lot of ideas from folks, both inside of Cleo, from our customers, from partners. Mm-hmm. So how do we determine which ideas make it to the roadmap or which ones we're prioritizing?
Yeah, no, I think that's it. Go ahead, Tracy.
No, I was just going to jump in, Ankit, because I feel particularly passionate about this question. So if you don't mind, I'm going to steal the baton here.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So I would just like to take a step back and kind of look at how does a team go about reviewing, accepting, and prioritizing items that we want to add to the roadmap, right? So first of all, there are a few considerations. And as I'm sure you all assume, not all idea, not all requests is necessarily considered equal. So there are kind of differing levels of both impact and effort that the team reviews. And the goal is really to always just consider those targeted items that will have really a big impact for not just one or a few customers, but for the majority of our users, right? So, oftentimes, or we always, I should say, consider the effort that is required for any new thing, any new innovation that we're adding to our product. Here within the team, we've created some terminology to categorize how we kind of deem the effort for certain innovation, right? So for our bigger items, we call them boulders. For kind of middle of the road items, we call them rocks. And then for smaller items, we call them pebbles. So being able to really understand both the impact and the effort helps us determine how and when we pull those items into our roadmap. And the other thing that the team really focuses on is kind of our guiding light, I'd like to say, is this voice triangle. So the voice triangle, the 3 points represent the market, Cleo, and last, of course, but not least, is our customers. And this is really where I get fired up because I personally, I'm very passionate about this, but the team as a whole, we really pride ourselves on the continuous exploration validation that we do with our customers, right? So all of us, Divya, Syama, Hari, AJ, Dylan, and myself, we are constantly working to make sure we're connecting with our customers regularly to run new or kind of in progress innovation by them. We want to make sure that we feel confident that the innovations we invest in are things that have real business impact for anyone using our products, right? So me personally, I won't speak on behalf of the team, but I definitely have a few customers that I keep on my speed dial. So a quick shameless plug here, any customer out there that's listening, if you'd like to be considered for further customer validation, just please shoot us an email. Our email is products@cleo.com. And yeah, we would love to speak with you. Sorry, AJ, to steal your thunder.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You covered it well, Tracy. No, I think this is exactly a key part of the product management role, the way we play here, right? It's really to balance out what is the need of the customer. We always listen to your feedback. We try to balance it out, what the needs are. I mean, in the previous question, the conversation around the API came in, right? The market is really trending over there. We need to bring more and more capability that allows you to have that blend capability. So that was the strategic direction we took to provide that kind of capability. And we are going to constantly explore and identify the new set of capabilities that's going to make your life easier. And absolutely, we are going to go through that journey of identifying what's the right set of things to be built and provide value through that.
Thanks, Ankit, and thank you, Tracy. So on a related note, and I guess this is becoming a bit of a hot topic since we brought it up, is there a way for you to let customers know, I'm assuming they mean other customers know, what all the enhancement requests are? And would we ever consider making that public? And I guess as an extension of that, and this I'm gonna inject my own question here is, will we ever publish a roadmap for our customers so they can see our direction? So Ankit, as you are off mute, I'm gonna pick on you and see if you can handle this one as well, please.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think this is a great question. Again, we get tons of enhancements requests as he was mentioning before. One of the reasons why we are looking to replace a tool is to provide that capability where the customers can actually vote. And we're testing out in the beta phase to see what would that look like. And absolutely, we can roll that out in the next, once we get through the proper testing of that one, where you can look at what feedback the other customers are providing and allow to vote on that. That is something we are testing at this point. Now, the second question where Dylan, you mentioned about like, hey, can we share the public facing roadmap? I mean, just going with the line of the conversation we were having earlier, right? The roadmap is a guiding light, which gives us the 12 to 18-month outlook, what it would look like. Again, the market conditions and demands may change, but we try to kind of adhere to our roadmap. We release on a monthly cadence, and we're trying to even reduce that cadence to do it even much faster. Happy to have more conversations with the customers who want to look at more deep dive into which specific aspect of the roadmap they want to, hear from you. Our solutions team is fully equipped to provide that feedback. And also with the CSMs, if you can, if you want to go more into details of our 12 to 18 month outlook, happy to have that conversations with you. We do not make it publicly available, the roadmap, again, as you guys can imagine, right, the competitive pressures and what it's there. So we try to keep it a little bit under tightrope, but we can absolutely share with our customers as the need arises. So that's definitely on the cards if need be.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ankit. So just to recap that, we don't publicly publish our roadmap, but we do find ways to share that with our customers. And anybody that's interested, we're always willing to engage with you and have a conversation in terms of the direction we're going here. So guys, we do have a couple interesting and technical questions around EDI that have come in. One is from Beverly, who's asking if we have a status around the creation of a 999 functional acknowledgement. And this is an ANSI X12 document standard. And that this is specific to our Clarify application. So I was wondering if anybody had a thought on this.
I'm assuming 999 is for the healthcare aspect of it, right? HIPAA.
Right.
So I think we have few customers that we are providing this capability of 999 acknowledgement. I think we should work with your services team of what we can do to get that working. We do not have made it natively available in Clarify. And as we start seeing more and more demand coming for this 999s, this is something we are going to evaluate and see when we can bring that capability into the mix. It's definitely not in our near-term roadmap at this moment, but for mid to long term, we can absolutely evaluate based on the needs that are there.
Okay, great. Thank you, Ankit. And with this one, let's see. This is again a very specific question, so I think it's I don't know if there's going to be a lot of information here that pertains to everybody that's in attendance right now, but I'll float this one as well. So on the topic of today's Accelerators launch, where we did talk about integrations between NetSuite and other applications, this person, Nikki, is asking, have we looked at integrations between NetSuite to Triumph Pay or TMW to Triumph Pay? And any thoughts in terms of how 210 data could flow between these three systems? So NetSuite is part of this, but it appears as though the linking system here is Triumph Pay. So again, I'll maybe see if Divya, if you had any thoughts on this.
Yep. So the integration of 210 with TMW, that is already in works, and we are soon releasing that into the market. That's already been working on. The integration between TMW and Triumph Pay, that is something that we will have to understand more about the use cases. Probably it will be good for us to connect with you, Nikki, and then we can get to know more about that use case specifically, and we can consider that based on all other requirements that we have for Accelerator. But integration with TMW is definitely will be released soon.
Yeah, and I think one thing we need to add here, Nikki, is that as Divya was talking about, today we announced accelerators. In about 2 to 3 months, maybe in a quarter, we would announce boosters, right? And boosters are taking the accelerator and giving you 2 parts of it. So for example, today we spoke about, in the press release, we spoke about Amazon to NetSuite or NetSuite to Amazon. So now if like someone like you, Nikki, comes along and says, hey, I need to talk about, I need you to help me connect NetSuite to something else, and maybe we don't have an accelerator for that out of the box, but we can give you a NetSuite booster, and that'll help you boost your implementation time. And as Divya said, she's always looking to talk to people that are having the use cases that she's working on. So Nikki, I think Divya will be your best friend soon. So do connect with each other.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, guys. All right, the questions continue to come in. This is from Paul. Paul says, currently, we are using Cleo Harmony in AWS. And this is a big question for probably many other folks as well. He's asking, what are the specific benefits when it comes to moving to CIC? So I think this is hey, we have a Cleo traditional on-premise product. Are there benefits to us moving to the cloud? So I will say that maybe we should get multiple perspectives on this. Maybe let's start with Shama. Any thoughts in terms of some of the benefits our customers can realize by moving to the cloud?
Thank you, Dylan. There's numerous benefits of moving to CIC Cloud from our on-premise products, and one of that being you will be getting this constant innovation, especially with CIC Studio. If you look at our CIC Studio versus our on-premise products, you can instantly fall in love with the amount of message styles, insights, as well as the ease of use that we offer with CIC Studio. Not just that, there's a lot of new innovation that we are focusing on in this year and even the past year and the coming years that will be available on our CIC product, the latest CIC product. So yeah, over to you, Ankit. You want to add something?
Yeah, no, absolutely. See, I mean, Harmony is a great product, right? I mean, honestly, it's one of my favorites overall on the Cleo product side. But having said that, Cleo Cloud has a lot of benefit. I mean, the first thing just to come to my mind is the availability and uptime that you can get. I mean, the ransomware that's happening now on a regular basis, right? Something to keep in mind, this is real at this moment. Something, for you to consider keeping an on-prem system where you have to maintain, manage, all of that kind of goes away once you move from the cloud side. So natively cloud, the way we have built and architected, it's a multi-tenant system. You get all the innovations as Shama was mentioning on a regular cadence. Plus you get all the other cloud benefits of being an uptime, having high availability, and making sure even on the Harmony side, you get partner mailbox kind of capability, right? So this is something we are kind of constantly adding. And the cloud is going to be more and more robust than what it was, a month ago and what it's going to be in the future. Because from a general direction, what we are seeing is more and more customers are getting into the SaaS kind of applications, and having that kind of constant innovations being delivered to you, plus having the peace of mind that it's going to be highly available is going to be a key piece for you to leverage. Plus, a blended kind of capabilities of having EDI and API on the same platform, the full visibility of your life cycle of every transaction that's flowing through it, are some of the key reasons I would really encourage someone, if you're considering as a cloud as an option, to really go there, and talk to some of your CSMs and to your solutions team if you have done that, because we have a lot going on in our cloud, and in the next few years there will be more innovations coming there.
Awesome. I think we have follow-up questions from James, which is on the same topic. Dylan, you want to go there?
Yeah, sure. So James is asking specifically in terms of the path for migration from Harmony to CIC Cloud. And I think what we could do is maybe broaden that question to talk about some of the other plans that we have for near as well as long-term plans to help build those migration pathways from our existing on-premise products and customers to help them reach the cloud more efficiently and effectively. So again, I'll pass this over to the team. Ankit, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I think we already have built a utility that will allow customers to migrate from Gen 1 to Gen 2. Our internal services team uses that utility to manage and migrate the whole process. They go through an assessment process looking at all the configurations you have and identify, are you the right candidate to move and migrate there? If you're not the right candidate at that point in time, they are pretty much there in our ears to tell us there are gaps that the CIC needs to close. And we are constantly adding those capabilities in the cloud that will allow that the migration can happen. I think we have done few of the customers already migration that have happened. if you're not already aligned and spoken to your services team, I will highly encourage to have that conversation or with your CSMs team to see where you are in the priority, because our goal is to bring all the customers who are on Gen 1 at least to come to the cloud, because they can get that added benefits of the life cycle view, the additional capabilities that we are adding on the Gen 2 side. And there are more innovations coming in the near future as well. So absolutely, Gen 1 to Gen 2 path is there. Internally, we have done it. And if for some reason it's not happening, we would love to understand what's stopping there. So yeah, talk to your CSMs or the services team member for that specific request.
Thanks so much, Ankit. All right, guys, I'm going to jump to another question. And if you guys are okay, I'll try to handle this one. So this is from Hannah, who is, again, asking, what are some of the differences between Harmony and CIC? So just to touch on a few of the things that Ankit just said is like Harmony is an on-premise enterprise grade managed file transfer product, right? But fundamentally, that means you're using this to connect to your trading partners and move files between systems internally, right? It has multi-protocol depth, scalability, security, governance, everything you need from a managed file transfer perspective to do managed file transfer type of work. But CIC is a platform. So we're bringing it together, all of the data movement and B2B connectivity capabilities into the cloud, but then we're also adding in and moving up the sort of complexity and maturity level in introducing data transformation and integration, both for EDI, non-EDI, and API-based capabilities as well. So not only are you moving the data, but then you can transform that data, send it back to your trading partners in a way that is compliant with their specifications, or move that into your internal systems in a way that helps create seamless end-to-end business processes and automation, right? So really, it's all the goodness and all the richness in Harmony, plus everything that you need from an integration and data transformation perspective as well. And it's in the cloud. So it's all those previous benefits that Ankit and Shama touched on as well.
I think Dylan, stay there, and Ankit and Dylan, I think we need to talk about cloud security and availability. We are the product team. So Rafael is asking this regarding cloud security and availability. What can you comment regarding any possible downtime? Are there any contingency plans, etc., in place in case the services are down? Would we be able to manage it locally? So Rafael, just so you know, we have an entire session on security led by our Chief Technology Officer coming up. I can Slack you I can put the agenda here and the exact times. I encourage you to go attend that session for sure. But how can we answer this question, guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the uptime are multifaceted, right? It's not just the equation is not just saying, hey, your platform goes down. There are, like as someone pointed out, what happens to the AWS service when it goes down? How are we making sure we are taking care of it? So one thing I want to ensure everyone right here on this call, when the transaction flows through our system, they're guaranteed to flow through. It may have a chance that we'll have to hold off on that one for a period of time when downtime actually happens. The transactions are absolutely that's going to flow through. Now, if an AWS system goes down, we already have a redundancy plan where we do backup of all the data to make sure nothing kind of stops there, and the data is fully we are SOC 2 compliant from a security point of view. So we go through a lot of on a quarterly level penetration testing that happens. We got a SOC 2 audit that happens on a yearly basis. So all of that aspect of security point of view is taken from that consideration. And in penetration testing, if you find any vulnerabilities, and that's done by a third-party auditor, we actually take that as a SEV1 issue that needs to be resolved and addressed. And we make sure that the penetration testing, passes through that audit once we get through that. And on top of it, we are constantly making sure our platform is ground up built from a security point of view. And AWS does provide that kind of additional benefit because it's natively built to be more safe and secure. So, from all those aspects, I would say that, yes, CIC does have a high security standard, and we are constantly making sure that we are, on top of those aspects of it.
And just to add to something that Ankit said, Cic Cloud is certified for SOC 2 Type 2 compliance. This is one of the most stringent and difficult sort of attestations of cloud security from not just a technology perspective, but architecturally and in terms of the people, the processes and performances that surround that cloud from a service and operational layer as well. So one thing that we can do is under an NDA, we are willing to share this with customers by request. So if you are looking to get to the details and go a little bit deeper than we're able to cover on this call, this is something that we have provided to customers on request in the past. So thanks, Ankit. Really appreciate that.
Yeah,
okay,
and Dylan, just
yes.
one note, Tracy, the question on documentation, just go ahead and post it to everyone so that everyone else can see the answers. Just so you, the listeners are aware, we're also answering questions on the live chat so that we can get to as many questions as we can. We see it's bombarded with questions here. So you guys are doing great. Thank you. Oh, Hari was able to join. Okay. Hi, Hari. Welcome. He is.
Hi, Vidya.
Hi. He had some issues joining the call. Okay. Welcome. Okay. So, Dylan, what were you thinking as the next question to pick?
I was thinking that we continue on this talk between our on-premise customers and some of the questions they have in terms of moving to the cloud. So this is coming from Neil, and Neil's question is, what is our commitment to clarify on-premise solution? And this is both in terms of our roadmap and our innovation. And he's asking about the balance of effort we have between our on-premise products and our cloud platform. So I'll pass that back to the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So the on-prem Clarify, I'm happy to say that we are going to have a new version that's going to be available in the next 3 to 4 months timeframe. The version is 5.2. something at this moment. I'm saying 17 or 18. We are still figuring out the version of it. It's going to have all the benefits of new OpenJDK support. It's going to have a new Postgres support on top of it. And what innovations we are doing in Cloud Studio, those innovations are also going to be now being made available on the Clarify on-prem side as well. So we are making sure that the way we are addressing and developing now is taking care of all the customers, whether they're cloud or not. Some of them may have a delay in terms of the feature release and functionality, but our promise is to make sure whatever we deliver and do it in the cloud, we want to make it available also in the on-prem side as well. On the other side, we are also trying to modernize the Clarify aspect of it. We are trying to bring more Docker and the containerization aspect, so you can actually be fully private cloud-based and run in any of whether it's an AWS or Microsoft Cloud, Microsoft Azure stack. So that's something we are actively working on right now, and making sure that you should be able to kind of leverage the key capabilities that we deliver in cloud and the other innovations that's needed on the private cloud side as well.
Thanks so much, Ankit. Now, on that very same topic of Clarify, right? So we have a lot of customers that are running like a current version of Clarify. There's the 5th generation. We also have a lot of customers that are prior to the 5th generation. They're on version 4 right now. So maybe you could also talk about some of the things that we're helping with our existing customers and getting on to the latest version of Clarify as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the 4 was a pretty, incredible version. We have a lot of customers who have been kind of on that 4 version, right? But having said that, most of our kind of key enhancement that we have put in the Clarify is on 5.1. Future versions of it, right? There are a lot of benefits that are allowing, and I would say recommend that we are gonna make the 5 GA available in the next 3 to 4 months, which will have a full upgrade path available for you to migrate from 4.x. We have already a few customers that we have migrated from 4 to 5, and we are making it more easier where you can have the series of steps that would be made available that will allow you to migrate from 4 to 5. Again, as I mentioned, like the Cloud Studio and the Clarify versions are now going hand in hand, but those innovations are going to come on the 5 and the future versions of it. 4 have a lot of other challenges that we are seeing at this moment. So I would highly recommend someone who is on 4 and there is an upgrade path available to take that specific aspect of upgrading and moving to 5, because you're going to get a lot more benefits with that. And we're happy to publish all the kind of key capabilities that's going to come from the 5. The future versions of it.
Okay, thanks so much, Ankit. So guys, we just got a great question come in. This is from U.S. Gomez, and apologies if I've got your name wrong, but they were attending one of the morning sessions, and they said during the platform innovation session, the speakers talked about web-based reference tables. Is this something that will allow visibility of the end-to-end loads? And then they give us an example here. For instance, can you see a 204 coming in and the corresponding 990, 997, 214s, and 210s for it? So it sounds like there's questions about how the reference tables are linked back into our end-to-end business process visibility. And then I'm kind of excited about this question because it gives us a way to start talking about some of the great innovations that we're rolling out at the start of 2022. So I'll let somebody take the reference table question at the top, and then maybe I'll see if Tracy, if you want to talk about our exciting new capabilities that are coming again at the start of 2022. So Divya, why don't you handle the first part? Thanks.
Yeah. So reference table is like a lookup or cross-reference table. So for an instance, you have a product code that is coming from your trading partner or from any external application. And that product code has a different value in your ERP system. So when the transformation happens, the product code from trading partner should be translated into the one that your ERP understands. So we need to have a lookup table for that, right? So that is nothing but a web-based reference table or a web-based lookup table. So we are giving a capability for a non-technical persona to manage that table. Like you can do all CRUD operation on that table. When you onboard a new product, you just update that table with the product codes, the one that is coming from the external system with the one that is in your ERP system, and the mapping would have been already in place, and that would just transform and go into your ERP with the right product code. So with that, like it is the capability to handle the lookup table on your own without depending on your integration developer in case of new product onboarding, or for that matter, SKUs, country codes. Like I can quote as many as examples for that, but then it is like now it's a great capability that is requested by lots of our customers because there was a dependency on integration developer earlier, but now we can do it by yourself. You don't have to depend on anyone for that.
Thanks so much, Divya. And Tracy, you are up.
Yes, perfect. Okay, so Divya, great job explaining how we have deepened visibility within Cleo Integration Cloud today, specifically within that lifecycle view. What I am particularly excited and focused on is what Dylan was alluding to earlier. We're taking a look at what are our customers' pain points constantly, right? So one thing that we've heard from a lot of customers, and we understand from just researching the market and trends, is that SLAs and KPIs are top of mind, right? So for example, I'll take Tractor Supply as an example. Tractor Supply charges $1,000 per non-compliant ASN. And we can quickly receive 1,000 of Tractor Supply's orders and send back 1,000 ASNs without realizing that perhaps there's an issue, right? And that can quickly compound into $1 million, right? So scenarios like that can really hurt manufacturers or vendors, suppliers. And then on the flip side, I think, I'm not sure, it says US Gomez. So whomever company you're with, it sounds like you're in the logistics industry. And in the logistics industry, we also know that if there's a miss or a delay in responding to a load tender, it means missing out on that load altogether, right? So all of these types of measurements and metrics are having compounding effect on the supply chain. And so, what is Cleo doing about that? We've got the deep visibility around the message tiles lifecycle view today, but what are we doing that to take a step further and bubble up additional insights around these types of KPIs? I don't want to give too much away, because the team is really working on kind of finalizing and ideating the final versions of what this innovation is going to look like. But what I will say is we have a new innovation incubating that basically breaks down into 4 categories, right? So the first is SLA definition. One thing that we've learned is that it's not a one size fits all for our customers. So we want to give our customers the ability to specify trading partner and document specific SLA requirements, right? So once our users can go in and define at that level, we'll be able to start tracking those SLAs and providing notifications for our customers if there's a missed SLA, or proactively, even better, right? If there's an upcoming SLA you're about to miss, so that you can get in front of those SLAs and start improving your trading partner scorecards. The other thing is that there's deep insights we'll be adding into the product, right? So you'll be able to filter on those SLA statuses, and eventually we'll have a dashboard that bubbles all of that up. So I think that was my long spiel, but yeah, very excited, more to come on that topic.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic, Tracy. This is one that I'm super excited about, because as a product marketer, I get to take all the goodness and innovation you guys roll out and talk about it. So I'm truly, I think it's going to make a huge difference for all of our customers and future customers. So guys, we have Neil, who is responding to something that Ankit shared just a little while ago. So as a follow-up question, this is around connectors as well as accelerators, and asking if they will be just available for the cloud, or if they will extend to some of our on-premise products as well. And then the second part is NVIDIA. You were called out specifically here, which is how far down the road are we in terms of adding in Microsoft Dynamics 365? Now, while you're being called out specifically, I think Divya can absolutely help us cover some of the technical details.
I was just going to say, no way am I going to take that question.
Okay.
Thank you, Neil. Thanks for the confidence in me, but I think if Divya's around, I'm not even going to attempt that question.
Yeah.
So Divya, maybe you can take both of it. Today we are developing all the accelerators and boosters for the cloud. Any plans? What's on the roadmap for taking it to on-premise?
So yeah, so today it is purely for the cloud, but then for on-premise, it would be like based on the use cases or based on the product requirement consideration, we would open it up, right? That depends on several other factors that Vidya, you talked about in your previous session about the impact, effort, and all those things, right? Now, on the next question about the Microsoft D365, we already have a connector, which is the OData-based Microsoft D365 for SEM, supply chain management, that works in both cloud as well as on-premise. So that's already there in our product. So if at all you have any challenges getting into it, I would recommend either you reach out to support or your CSMs, then we can see what exactly the use cases or what exactly the issue is here for that.
All right, thank you so much for that, Divya. All right, guys, so we do have a lot of other questions coming in. So Vidya, if you're okay, I'm going to pass one your way. So okay. It looks like the person that submitted this did so anonymously, but it is, apparently they read about the recent acquisition of Cleo, and they're asking, did the recent acquisition have any impact on your strategy, direction, or velocity in delivering new capabilities for your customers?
That's a great question. The most recent investment is it's a part of Cleo's growth strategy, and our investors are just fueling what is required for us to be able to execute on the promise of ecosystem integration. And so they are just absolute great partners in crime. They're letting us run our business because they believe in the strategy and the vision that we have for the company. And so our fearless leader, Mahesh Rajasekaran, is leading the charge. And investors are investors, wherein they're usually in the back rooting for us and just keeping us honest and on track. If anything, I think our investors, our new investors, are just so product focused, and they're bringing new ways of challenging us in looking at doing some portfolio analysis and just figuring out, how we could be more helpful to our customers while also keeping profitability in mind. So it's a fantastic, it's a marriage made in heaven, and so we are really excited to work with HIG and the strong partnership we have there. So thank you, Dylan. That's a great question.
No, and thank you, Vidya. I really appreciate that answer. So it looks like we have one that just came in that seems really well suited to our newest team member, Hari. So Hari, this one is going to be for you. So this customer says, we have IT and business users today trying to use CIC. For the IT users, they can do everything they want using Studio, but what are you doing to improve the business usership, specifically around customer support personas? So Hari, there you go.
Thank you.
Yes, we can.
Thank you, Dylan. Thanks for the question. That's a great question, and I'm glad I get to answer that. I wish you guys could see me wave, but my camera isn't working for some reason. But anyway, getting back to the question. So yeah, I think you are right. So most of the users of CIC come from a technical background, and they have experience in building apps and integration platforms and things like that. So, but we need to understand that the entire purpose of building integrations is to meet the business outcomes, the larger business outcomes, right? So we need to improve our profitability, we need to improve the revenue, the margins, cut costs, and improve the supply chain visibility and things like that. So we are looking into building a business intelligence layer, which will address the concerns of business and the non-IT folks in the industry, right? So I think my colleague was talking about that particular layer, right? So we have the capability to do predictive alerts. You can manage SLAs. You can manage your mission critical KPIs. So some of these are already work in progress, and some of these are still in ideation and the roadmap. But this is something that is definitely we are looking into.
Okay, thanks, Hari. And then, folks, just to anyone else who wants to add anything there, we know from some of our other customers and conversations, for the customer support role, troubleshooting and issue and exception management are critical here. So anything that we can help share with this customer in terms of the current capabilities, as well as some of the future enhancements that we're planning on this front as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, troubleshooting is top of mind for us, right? I mean, Cleo is already far ahead in what it provides in terms of troubleshooting, but we are not satisfied with what we are providing. We are going a step further in making the life easier for the person who really needs to troubleshoot and get those kind of things done in a faster pace, right? So we are going to add very specific error messages that's going to be made available for you to kind of troubleshoot. There is going to be in future a kind of a centralized place to manage all your issues. That's something that's also in our roadmap. We're actively working towards that. And the third piece we are looking to do, provide there is automated routing of the issues based on who needs to take actions on that. So we are going to make it even more smarter than what it currently is, based on what kind of issues is, if your trading partner has to take any actions on it, if Cleo has to take any actions on it, as a customer has to take any action on it as a user, right? So all of that is being kind of at this moment discussed, and we are in the design phase of identifying what the solution would there look like. And Tracy is actively working on and providing and identifying how we can make the error messages better. So you're going to start seeing some of those capabilities being made available in the very short term, and the centralized kind of a way to manage all your issues is also coming in the mid to long term roadmap overall.
Thanks so much, Ankit. All right, guys, it looks like we have a question that does relate to our exciting launch today that Vidya spoke about in this morning's sessions. So this customer says, today we have Shopify and are looking at Amazon FBA. Down the road, we're starting to think about potentially doing business on other marketplaces. Is Cleo doing anything that can help us address these multiple e-commerce use cases? So I'll see if Divya wants to maybe talk about some of the things that we announced today, and then maybe talk about some of the future plans that we have that might help this company or any other customers with similar challenges.
Yep. Yeah. So this is personally a very great topic that I can talk about. So the good news is we have launched the game-changing product innovation here at Cleo called Accelerators, right? Accelerators are nothing but out-of-the-box B2B integration between, like, say, systems like ERP, such as NetSuite, MS Dynamics, and TMS or any WMSs. And on the other side, they have applications like Marketplace, Shopify, or for that matter, even your trading partners like retailers or any of your carrier partners, right? Now, with these pre-built integration, you can quickly onboard any of these combinations of endpoint without have to worry about the complex API-based integrations or any of the complex coding. These are just configuration-based integrations where you can just start configuring it and then you are ready to go. Now, today, like you have heard constantly about our launch today, which is the accelerators, and also a booster that are getting added to it. So we have started with NetSuite and we have added Amazon Marketplace and Shopify to it. And then we have a wide range of various ERPs as well as marketplace applications that are coming to it. And even on the X12 side, right, we have started with X12. We have, as I was telling previously, we have started with the TMS applications, and there are, like, the list is endless, right? We can do lots of innovation here. And this is like a really exciting innovation that Cleo is doing. I can talk along for it, but I would like to see if any other team members wants to add anything here, right?
I think you covered it wonderfully, Divya. So with that, let's just jump right back into the questions. And folks, just one reminder is, as long as you guys are submitting questions, even if we don't have time to cover everything live here, we will follow up with you individually at some point after the session. So please keep the questions coming. Don't hesitate. Again, even if we don't have time today, we will cover them in a timely fashion following the session.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Dylan. And because we have the questions, we have your contact information, and we can always, when we email you, we can even set up like a 10-15 minute call, go into the details of your questions and things like that. So please keep them coming. I think there was a question on SAP ERP for an accelerator. If you guys want to cover that, and then we'll wrap on that topic rather.
Okay. I can talk about this, right?
Go ahead.
So we have this notion of market coverage, meaning with our focus on supply chain use cases, we know that some companies need us to focus on the ERP side. Other companies want us to look at TMSs. Other companies want us to look at WMSs. The truth is, we're going to look at all of those, and we're also going to look at the high frequency, external ecosystem endpoints as well, from e-commerce marketplaces and e-commerce platforms to other high-value, cloud-based applications. So the short answer, though, is, of course, we're thinking about SAP ERP, specifically the SAP S/4HANA Cloud, which is on a roadmap. It is part of our plan for developing not just accelerators, but also boosters, because we've heard from our customers that this is a high value application that you guys need us to manage the integration for. So pleased to say yes, absolutely, Siva. This is part of our planned progress for this idea. All right.
It's good to say yes, right?
It's so nice to see us, isn't it?
Thank you.
All right. Hey, how about we throw some fireworks into the conversation here from Jesus.
Fireworks.
So, well, I'm gonna say this is one of these topics that I love, because I love thinking about the future. I mean, John Thielens, our CTO, is the best guy to talk about these topics. But Jesus asked, is there a plan to include some way the power of blockchain to CIC in the near future? So I'm going to circle back to something I said before, which is, APIs are an extension of EDI. And the best way to think about that is, if you look at the B2B world, it's cumulative, meaning things and new technologies are constantly being added on. We're not replacing anything. And so I guess what I'm saying is, we're not saying no to blockchain, but we would have to find a way to fold blockchain in to the notion of ecosystem integration, right? Which is, that's our philosophy, that's our category, that's the market that we've identified and are helping to lead. And so, like, artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT, like there are all these sort of hyper futuristic types of technology that have small sort of experimental iterative places within the B2B world. And as those gain traction and groundswell and the use cases become more clear, then there will be a path for us to look at the value of us considering those as well as part of the Cleo Integration Cloud capability set.
I think you're spot on, Dylan. I think if John were here, one of the things he would say is, well, two things. One, we already did an entire proof of concept. We spent about 3 to 6 months working on something about 2 years ago. And when we took that proof of concept to some of our forward-looking customers, they were not ready for it. So the ecosystem of blockchain, the consumers of blockchain are not ready. So we could prepare a very sophisticated meal, but it's not yet palatable by the market. And so we kind of put some brakes on it, but great question.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's one of those topics that they're exciting to think about, they're exciting to discuss, and at some point in time, it's going to be worthwhile, a real discovery path. Okay, folks. So with just a couple minutes left, why don't we go around the room here? We can share one quick thought, one quick takeaway, one favorite question, or one final thought for the audience here. So if we're good with that, Ankit, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think great to see all these questions coming from different foray. I think what it tells me is we are on the right path, and where we want to take Cleo as the #1 ecosystem in a platform, B2B ecosystem platform. I think we are getting there, and we are going to get more and more use cases coverage over the period of time, and more innovations that are going to come in. So happy to see, more and more customers thinking about bringing the cloud innovation and part of their journey, because that transformation is real. I mean, more and more what I'm seeing from a market and trend point of view, cloud is a way that the things are progressing. So I'm excited to see the kind of questions and conversations that are coming in. And happy to see a lot of questions coming on our new innovation, which we just launched on the accelerators. So excited to see, what the customers are sharing and what feedback we're going to get there. So we're really thrilled about this system with this session today.
Yeah, absolutely. Divya?
Yeah, I echo Ankit. So all of these questions, it is just kind of giving me a feeling that we are going on the right path, and all the questions related to accelerators and boosters. Now I have like more people to talk to, or more use cases to look for, just to make sure we are doing the right thing for our customers. Yep.
Absolutely. Over to you, Tracy.
Yeah, I mean, every opportunity to hear from our customers is valuable for us personally, and just seeing how many questions, how much enthusiasm we're seeing from you guys. I mean, that's what really fuels us. So I just want to keep the momentum going. If you guys continue to have questions, I know I've seen some people ask about, roadmap sessions, feedback. Just keep this as an invitation to keep the transparency and the communication loop going after today.
And with that, I'm going to let Vidya give the final parting words. We are at the top of the hour here. That's the end of the session. So thanks.
Thank you, guys. This was Dylan, Ankit, Divya, Tracy, Shama, Hari. Absolutely outstanding session. I do have to say we were a little unsure of Ask Product Anything. And, you never know, you open the can of worms. And some of the questions were the ones we'd like to take one-on-one on pricing and private cloud and on-premise roadmap and so on. It's just something that we're thinking about. The direction Cleo is going in is absolutely CIC Cloud Edition, and we are a cloud-centric SaaS company. Having said that, our love for on-premise products and our customers that love our prior heritage products, we understand that, and we will do everything in our power to continue, keeping you and your teams happy as well. So with that, thank you so much, and please do attend other sessions. We have a training from Chuck. Those of you that know him from the prior Extol days, he's a very popular trainer, and the training that he's offering is almost worth like $2,000 or $3,000 if it was on the price list. So that's for free today, and please attend that. And as you're doing that, you can make a mental note of the differences and the similarities between Clarify and CIC Cloud, and I promise you'll see more similarities than not. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you to all our customers and other attendees. Thank you to all our co-hosts. Everybody have a great day, and we'll see you on the other sessions.